On this week's episode of that's not even right, is it? Is that what I say? Is that what I'm supposed to say?
On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, blah, blah.
Yeah. Sorry. Woo. All right.
It's a week. It's been a week.
Already. On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, liar, liar, no vamps on fire.
And demons bone you every time. Let's do this.
Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
And I'm Liz, coming to you live once again from my childhood bedroom, where I have no proper lighting or technically a really good sound, but hey, we're doing it. Sisters, we're doing it for ourselves. Mm-hmm. How are you, Diana?
I'm all right. It's I think I've alluded, my life is very busy right now, and that's okay. We're gonna make
What week is it?
What?
It's South by week.
It is South by week. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's South by week, and it's also it just makes it an exceptionally busy season for the music industry in Texas and in general. But it's pretty fucking cray. All good stuff for the most part, just cray. So yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm delighted that I'm actually nowhere near Austin for the next week. That, it was a benefit of some of my sudden relocation to this room. I'm in more than this room. I'm not being held hostage. Everything is fine. No. But I am, so TLDR, I am in a house with my mom and trying to wrangle 4 cats. And that is, a job into itself, just, and I still have my regular job in this job. But, like when people have kids and you're like, yeah, that seems like a lot of work. People should try having 4 fucking cats. Like, this is some gnarly ass, nasty, smelly shit. And I've got, they all have, their little, territories. And I need to find the documentary where, the cats, have, you were the one where I can't remember the name of it. I think it's, The Life of Cats or something easy. Where, they had, the city cats and they had the cats that, lived in the house and, the farm cats. And they put GPS trackers in their collars. And they figured out where they wandered for a mile, and they figured out that even inside a house that cats have their little territories. So I can see these cats doing things, and so, but my cat is upstairs and locked in. She's not locked in a closet. Don't call Sarah McLachlan. She's just in a large bedroom and bathroom space. But she has
her dedicated area.
She has her dedicated area because we cannot have what happens when she meets the other cats who are chonkers. They are the world's. They are so fat. And they're
floofy chonkers.
Some of them are, one of them is floofy.
One's floofy,
The other 2 are just, they big chonkers. Farm cats. They're thick. I think they are thick. I don't think they're chunky. They're thick.
With 2 C's.
With 2 C's. And so in order to make, I'm trying to smarten up this house to make it a little more accessible for some elder care and some other things, right? And one of the things is okay, we got to get this litter situation under control. And so I have, acquired the famous robot litter thing, the thing that everyone says is so great, but they don't preface it with, but you've got to teach the cats how to use this litter box because they don't want to go in there because they're afraid of it because it's a fucking robot and they don't want to go inside of it. And so I started asking my coworkers, and when I was oh yeah, I got them to use it after 2 to 3 weeks. And so one of the things you're supposed to do is to let their litter box just let it go.
Let it get funky until they find somewhere else to go.
So they go in the other thing that's right next to it. But that's also the room that I work out of for most of the day. So it's just this foul It's not bueno. So that's like my insane life right now. And if anybody has like tips on how to get your cats into the fucking robot litter thing, let me know. Like, I tried just putting one of them in there, and I think I traumatized it.
It's like, nope, never going in there again.
She's just like, no.
Never again.
Well, it was a food motivated one, right? So I've gotten her to like put her paw on it just by putting food on it.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want to like be like, come eat here. Like, that's not a thing you want to teach a cat. Like, I don't want to put the treats in there. Like, so
That's true.
Yeah,
that's a fun challenge.
It's a fun challenge. So it's very much a trying to figure that out. I currently have no water. Don't know why. I have no idea. Yeah, and just using, sisters doing it for themselves. I used a chainsaw this week, hacked down a bunch of trees that were all over a port because it's Texas and things fall. We had a big ice storm, and I guess just nobody took care of that. And I was tired of looking at trees, so one of my friends bought me they're so much easier to use now. They're electric. Like, it was so much less like, because like the whole like pull and chain thing. Like, I always knew I was gonna like miss that chain and like pop myself in the face with a blade. Right. Like, I would be like a machete tour guide, but with a chainsaw like Scar, which would be badass, but not the look I want.
No, I agree. It's not probably the goal.
Yeah, but now like it's just like there's it looks like a regular chainsaw, but it's very light, and you just put like like a Ryobi like battery or lithium battery in it, and just push a button, and it's so easy. So zombie apocalypse, new weapon for sure, like that. And my friend said he was going to throw it out afterwards. I'm like, the hell you are! Like, I have a new chainsaw, is what I heard. If you said you're going to throw it out,
yeah, it's not disposable. That's usable.
So that's my home study. So just doing that and cleaning. Like, the cleaning never stops, Diana. I feel like Cinderella, just without But at least I'm not in heels, I guess. At least I don't have to wear glass shoes. Those seem very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it does. Very. So, how about you? What is exciting in your household?
Well, I'll start with the more mundane, and we'll end with the most exciting.
Build.
So, yeah, I mean, might as well. So, this past weekend, I went to a local show, and then also got to go see a really great touring artist, Sierra Farrell, with Jamie Wyatt. And they both have angel voices and are amazing. And it was a really good show that my company put on. Then I got to go. It's spring break for most of a lot of the people of the schools in Texas right now. So, like, anyways, my sister and my niece were off. So it was time to go eat at Italy for lunch.
Italy! You have to say it right. Italy!
So we went to Italy at North Park to have lunch with the fam and babe and all. And had a lovely bottle of red wine at lunch. Yes, I went back to work after a glass of wine. I didn't drink the bottle by myself. Don't care. And we had this lovely bottle, and it was $60, which sharing, $60 for a bottle of wine at a meal, not insane, right? But I'm like, hey, I like this wine so much, and they sell wine here. I bet they have this wine on the shelf. I'm going to go buy it. Knowing that, if you didn't know this, most wine that you buy in a restaurant is about 100% markup from what the price at the retail price, not the wholesale, retail price. It's about 100% markup. Okay, so whatever you're going to buy it for at the wine store, they're charging you twice that. That's standard. Just, it is what it is.
It's shitty, but people do it.
Well, it's pretty...
It's standard, but I know a lot of restaurants that do not. So
I go to buy this bottle of wine and did not get the greatest service in the wine department, but that's neither here nor there. Definitely judged people buying garbage wine. And then found the bottle, and it was $15.90. And at the restaurant in the same establishment, it was $60 for a bottle or $15 for a glass. And you know what?
Shit, that is stupid. Okay.
Fucking stupid and offensive. And I was pissed. But I bought the wine because it's good and I'm drinking it right now.
Well, but the thing is also, if you have never been to Italy, which So it's basically, we've talked about it on the show before. It's a place where there is a restaurant in the middle of a goddamn grocery store. And it's just a grocery store, right? But it's a grocery store that has Italian products, but it's also like, they're delicious. Like, I want to eat everything that's in there. Like, it's all the food. Like, it's all my carbs. It's all my truffles. It's all my butter. It's all my cheese. Yes, yes, yes. And wine and whatever. But
and salami and butcher
it's
shop.
always whatever.
It's amazing.
And a wine store. So it's not like the wine store, like, the restaurant was across the street from the liquor store where you could get it. Like, it was a literal, like, you hop a turnstile and there's the bottle of wine.
There wasn't even a turnstile. It's just in the same property. Anyways, so it was annoying. So yeah, it is what it is. But the wine's delicious. So Montepulciano.
It is what it is, but what it is stupid.
Well, yeah. I mean, I might write a strongly worded letter.
Woo!
Anyways.
Harumph.
And what's kind of annoying is I would have happily paid $25 to $30 for that bottle. They could have charged me that, and I would be like, okay, that sounds about right.
Would it be really funny if you're really pissed and then, like, someone just fucked up and, like, marked the price of their wine wrong, like, in the store, and it was supposed to be, like, $45, and, like, maybe someone had this scam running this entire time, and, like, you're about to, like, get somebody fired or, like, ruin someone's scam. Like, there was like, bitch, I was getting this wine for $15. Why'd you have to be a narc?
Right? Damn. Anyways, but in much more exciting news and positive news is our household decided to add a family member last week. And so we are very pleased to welcome Albus is his name to the household. He is a blue pit that we got from an amazing local rescue called the Love Pit, and has a very beautiful face. He's just over a year old and has 3.5 legs.
He's adorable.
Yes, he's very cute. He's a little, very sweet, and also a little wiggle worm, and gets along great with the other dogs after a little bit of a concerning day one. Now they're all like already besties.
But I think it wasn't a day one. Like, y'all started that late. Like, that's a disrupt.
No. Day one was still bad.
Well,
the full day one was still bad.
Right.
The next day was still bad. But yeah, no, it was. There was some little rough patches, but you know, it's bringing a new dog into other dogs' territory, and they have to acclimate. And my other dogs are older; they're like 9 to 10, and this is a little
and you can't keep your dog in a bedroom. Like this cat.
We tried to do we had to do some separating for a few days, and now it's free for all, and they're all happy. So it's good.
I can't wait to meet my new friend. I'm very excited.
He's a funny little guy, for sure. I keep calling him Duder, because he's a funny little guy. I'm like, little Duder? I don't know, it's just
little Duder.
But I can't say that because I'm gonna end up calling him that all the time. He's gonna think that's his name. Anyways,
that's why I kept pressing it. It was like just come to the consensus on the name.
We picked Albus. We went with Albus. We say it to him all the time. Albie for short. For those that would like to know the inspo,
I'll be there.
I'll give you my little the little background is, so it's an Albus Dumbledore reference, and it's because Albus he had a gray beard and wore a lot of blues and grays, so Blue Pit makes sense. And he had a shriveled hand due to a curse in the books, if you are not a Harry Potter fan. And this doggo has a little birth defect, and one of his legs is a little short and special, a little chicken wing. So
no, I prefer to think that it was cursed. What did he do? Who cursed him? Can we curse them back?
We should. So there we go. That's the inspo.
Inspo?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you.
Inspo.
Don't say that word. Ugh.
Inspo.
It's like inspo for our dog. I hope you really like it. He's a rescue. Of course, he's a rescue. Like my dog.
And in the midst of all this,
after
finally
he
finally released his shirtless travel calendar, and he's donating proceeds to the Love Pit as well. So there you go. Speaking of Doing good.
So we will cross promote that. We will post that on our Insta so you can see. Maybe that'll bring, maybe Dave's the milkshake will bring the listeners to our yard. And so if you came here for Dave's shirtless around the world, welcome. Sit back, buckle up, and maybe next week you'll get a surprise. So let's dive into talking about Supernatural, because it's why we're here. And we're going to talk about season 6, episode 7, Family Matters. Right? That's the name of it. It's blank on my screen. And I'm just like, I think it's Family Matters.
You were correct.
Huzzah, huzzah. So we're here. We're here in season 6, and there's some bumpy shit that's gonna happen that makes me not the happiest person. But there are some good things in this episode, and some bad. So I think we'll meld through those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we get some good reveals and some good plotline aspects here, I think, and some interesting character development. So
this was directed by a guy, Norman B., and we have not seen him since his last very cheery episode, Asylum, all the way back in season 1. And he was interviewed and asked like what it was like to come back, because it's 5 years later, right? And so it's also I do like to think about, because we're in 2023 and, this was in 2010. And really, that was a long time ago, this 13 years. But even before that, the show was already 5 years in the making. So I was just thinking about the timeline and production and the things that have changed and the things that have stayed the same, right? So it has to be really cool to direct something in the first season and then come back in the 5th after everyone's kind of like gelled and got the groove.
The show's super established now, and that does have to be pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's got to be kind of flattering for them to call you back. Like, okay, well.
Yeah, and he said almost 95% of the crew is the same, and he'd been friends with them because the Vancouver film crew was, that scene is tight, and so I just thought that was interesting, and it's just he's a fun director. And I like what he did in this episode. He doesn't really have a lot of new things going on, it seems, lately. He's tweeting a lot. But, we all have our jobs. That can be yours, whatever. Y'all can go read his tweets. I'm not talking about him. All right. So this was also written by Dab and Laughlin, though. So I love it when these duos are together. So, and I did feel like Family Matters, which we know was an Urkel, a reference to Family Matters. Like, we could have had one Urkel, a Winslow, some sort of reference in here. I think y'all missed the ball on this, guys.
I think you're right. Perfect opportunity. Very easy references to make.
For sure. So we start up with Jared's all tied up in a chair, which, he
is.
Whatever.
So we've got Sam's tied up and is slowly coming out of being knocked out. Because if we remember, we ended episode 6 with Dean beating the ever-loving shit out of Sam's face.
And so it was pointed out on the Supernatural wiki that the beating that was happening on his face doesn't necessarily match the wounds that he currently has. But maybe Cass healed him and Dean beat him again. Either way, there was too much Sam beating going on. But Cass,
that's a lot.
Yeah, Cass is playing doctor, and I love his diagnostic questions, right? I feel like there's there could be a chart and be all right, fever, talking in tongues, sleeping. Those are all things on his checklist.
Yeah. And he's like, no, but we do find out that Sam hasn't slept since he came back over a year ago.
But then but he was just passed out. So he can be knocked unconscious, but he doesn't sleep. Is that why it took so long for him to pass out when Dean was punching him?
Maybe. That's a good question. I don't know. But then his next question is asking what Sam feels. And Sam's like, oh, my nose is broken. He's like, no.
That's what I feel. I feel like my nose hurts.
Yeah. I feel pain. My face fucking hurts. No. He's like, he's like, no, not physical. What do you feel? And Sam can't answer that. So now we know Castiel has a suspicion. and informs him that this is going to be unpleasant and sticks a belt in his mouth. I'm just going to tell you, there's something, somebody tells you something's going to be unpleasant and sticks a belt in your mouth, you can probably rest assured it's going to be unpleasant.
Also, where did he get the belt?
He pulled it off, I thought, of himself.
I don't think, see, like, and also, like, how weird would it be? Like, okay, so we have, like, your brother's boyfriend. He is just like, hold on. And he, like, takes his belt off. You're like,
this is going to be unpleasant.
This is going to be unpleasant. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And then Castiel reaches inside Sam, who is obviously in a large amount of pain, and figures out that...
No, he does a chest cavity search. You have to say it because it's funny. Because it's a chest cavity. And so it's like a cavity search, but it's a chest cavity search. And that amuses me.
Well, his soul's gone. Sam ain't got no soul.
Oh! Sorry, I feel like somewhere just like, soul. Get down! Like, he can't get down anymore. He just can't.
Get on up, bug.
No more soul.
Okay.
And with my side ponytail bopping.
You got it. That's how I'm so you got a good bop. Yeah. So Dean's like, Castiel, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, he got resurrected without a soul. Must still be down in the cage with Michael and Lucifer. Sorry. And so I like that, though. Dean is like, well, is it still Sam? And Cass like, hey, that's a philosophical question. Touch that.
But it's one that I think, like, we're not really like, I would spend so much time talking about this, like, what difference does this make? And I think, some of the other people in this or things in this episode are just as interested, just being like, what does that mean? How are you different? Like, how does this make you different than other Sam? Right. And so, because he clearly, there's some things like he's doing because he should. Right. Right. But so he does feel that this is AI. He's like, Sam is a computer.
Sam is AI.
Sam is AI. This is exactly, is that what it is? Like,
I don't know.
Because he's still like, he knows, and we'll see him kind of going through right and wrong in this episode in fun ways.
Yeah. Well, and so, of course, Dean wants to get his soul back because that's what Dean does. He's a fixer. Mm-hmm. But he don't trust soulless Sam. And so he's like, no, you're going to freaking stay here and get tied up. You, that's all there is to it. And they go back and forth about it.
Yeah, I just love this. Sam's just like, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's cool.
That's cool.
Do you know how much easier life is? Yeah, I'm like, I don't have like that much of a moral compass. Like, whatever.
So, but they agree finally, like, look, Sam's able to untie himself but he was just sitting there the whole time.
It's also hot.
Because he wanted to. And it's like, no, you're stuck with the soulless guy. Sorry. So Castiel is going to go clean him up and boops him back to being put all healed. And then we'll, they got to go figure out who busted Sam out of hell. All Sam says he remembers is waking up in a field, but then there's one other thing. Ooh. Ooh. What do we do next? We go to the Campbell can. That's what I'm calling it. It's not the Campbell compound. It's the Campbell can. You're welcome. Made your bad soup joke for you. I went for it.
You sure did. You sure did.
I wasn't even drinking when I wrote that. You're welcome. So they're going to go see Samuel.
And they are. And so within the Campbell can, everyone is just sharpening knives. That is all you do there. You just sharpen knives and things.
Yeah. So, I guess they're good at it. I'm not. So it's nice to know it's a good skill set to have.
I find it soothing. I also know that I have no idea where any knife grinders ever are when I need them. Like, I feel like this is like, I'm in my parents' house. My father probably has a buttload of them. Where they are, I don't know. So when I need them, I never have them. So, but I enjoy that a clicking, like the it's very soothing and meditating. But this is a lot.
It's a lot of knife sharpening going on. Yeah. So they go see Samuel, and he
gets a wonderful library room.
He does have a nice little library room. And so it's Dean and Sam and Samuel. And Castiel appears as the quote unquote their wingman. Get it? Huh. So basically, they're like, Samuel, we need to know what the fuck is going on. And Samuel decides to make a snide comment about Castiel being scrawny. So Cass informs him that his true form would be the size of the Chrysler Building.
But when do they ever use their true forms? Because even when they're up in heaven, they're still in their vessels, right? And so, like, when does the true form shit happen? Like, if, like, Castiel is talking to another angel, like, why aren't they in their true forms? They don't need to be in their vessels. Like, what happens to their vessel when they go to their, like, are they just stuck in, like, are they stuck in their vessel until they exit it to become their true form?
I don't know. That's a good question. There's not a lot of clarity. They don't give a lot of that kind of stuff on the angels.
I don't know. Yeah. So, but we do find, like you said, like we start getting we get a lot of story. We get a lot of expose here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we find out Samuel's like, look, I got nothing to hide. So whatever you need to do. And Castiel's going to check. So he's going to get his angel cavity search is what they call it here.
I also call it a soul cleanse.
And anyways, what he's yelling, of course.
Basically, like Cass fists him from the front.
Yeah,
it's a fist from the front, so through your belly button. Which we're just gonna stop. Okay, go on. All right.
So his soul's intact, and Samuel's like, "Hey, does
that mean it goes through the umbilical cord? Do you think it actually goes through the belly button? Like, and that's where your soul is? Your soul's inside your belly button? Because it looks like it's way down further in the crotch. Like once his hand gets in there, like maybe it's the prostate.
Oh.
But I don't have a prostate. So
no,
maybe that's why I don't have a soul.
Well, there's a lot of women without souls then. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that why men hate us?
I got a feeling that it was like he was reaching like in this area and reached up like under the ribs.
Oh, see, I saw down. You saw up? Okay. All right. We all see what we see. It's like a Rorschach test, but just with where people get fisted through their belly button. Okay, moving on. So Samuel is very upset about how touched by an angel he got.
Yeah, he's not into it, but he's basically like, hey, by the way.
At least he wasn't into it. Would it be better if, like, Samuel was like, can I have a cigarette?
Yeah, one more time.
Do it again, Daddy.
Oh my gosh. So Samuel, though, did know something was up. He's like, yeah, I knew something was off, and Sam scared me sometimes, so I'm not surprised by this information. But I'll help you guys. It'll be fine. And Castiel's like, cool, I gotta bolt because I'm just in the middle of a civil war. Don't mind me. And Dean's real mad about it, but he's like, yeah, of course, Dean, your problems come first. And Castiel leaves.
So was that sarcasm? I mean, obviously we know the couple is fighting and they're bickering with each other. But I also don't feel like it was sarcasm. I feel like Cass really meant like your problems come first, and like just.
But he doesn't, because he didn't come when Dean was calling for help before, so he doesn't mean that shit.
I think they come first when they have to. I don't know, but anyways, he's gonna tear the attic up, and Dean's gonna come first.
So Dean wants to know why the Campbell Can has all these hunters gathered, because they're going to have a big hunt because they've got a lead on the Alpha Vamp.
Alpha Vamp.
Woo. And
oh my god, that's a sound Pilates instructors make.
I do that a lot. So they're going in the morning, and Sam is real bummed that Samuel didn't call him and ask him to come.
Aww.
And Dean's like, well, obviously it's because of me, because Samuel doesn't trust me, especially on a big thing like this. And Samuel's like, no, I just don't know you.
What?
And Dean's like, you know what? Dean's like, it's fine. Look, we'll go with you. You can call all the shots. I'll listen. I just don't want to miss the Big Daddy Bloodsucker.
Big Daddy Bloodsucker. That is what he calls him. And that's gross, but also awesome. Because if he's just like, I'm going to go find my Big Daddy Bear. That is what Dean, you're just writing this fanfic for them, guys. Like, you really are. Like, y'all just put it out there. But
and he straight up tells Samuel he trusts him.
And yeah, it's like, I trust you. And then like 5 minutes later, it's like, I don't trust him. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, why would these guys trust you? But I also get like FOMO, right? Like, oh shit, no, like you have the alpha vamp. Like, I want to see that. Like, of course, I'm in.
Yeah. So, Sam, though, is shocked that Dean has said that he doesn't trust someone in his family. And
see, and that's AI shit. I feel like that's programmed, like because like you code that in there. You love family, and Sam's like, I'm supposed to love family, but Dean, you don't trust Grandpa. He's family. Do not compute.
Does not compute. Does not compute. So they go back in, and we are in the hunter weapon lair with jars of blood, axes, machetes, and more. Where Sam sits down to help prep things while Dean wanders off to go explore by himself and break into Samuel's office. But he gets caught by Christian. He tries to play it off, and then they just totally shit talk to each other back and forth until Christian implies that when they go on the big hunt tomorrow, accidents happen. So basically saying he might try to kill Dean.
And he also gets really rude and says that the only action that Dean has seen is between his girlfriend's slut legs, which is, I think, very harsh dialogue and disgusting. And, like, too far, Christian. Like, I don't care who you're shit talking. Like, whoa! And that's when Dean, like, is just like, that is too far, Christian, and throws him up against the wall.
Dean was the one to say something about talking to Christian's wife at the beginning of this.
He did, but it wasn't as like, it was more like a your mama.
It was less
like,
crude. It
was more like, yeah, just like a fuck your wife, you know, like that kind of shit talk. But like when you go to like slut legs, like that's too far. Like I don't know why. There's many reasons why, but it's just like, so you're like the shit I know it's about to happen to Christian. Like I don't mind, but also the implying that I'm going to accidentally kill you on our mission.
Right. I feel like that combination is pretty over the line, Christian.
You're not, this workplace is hostile.
Hostile work environment for sure. Oh, so it's just before dawn. They're loaded up. We got 3 trucks, the van, and baby all rolling out.
I do love the van, man. If we could throw some surveillance equipment in here, I would be set, but I love it. All right, go van.
Go van. So they park, and Samuel's given the lowdown and assigning duties. Like, the house is right over the hill, a dozen vamps plus the alpha there. Christian's going to take the flank. The rest of everybody else is going to come with me. And by the way, Dean and Gwen, you stay behind for any stragglers. And Gwen is not happy. She asks if she says, I'm in the rear with the reject. So
I don't know how to feel about Gwen.
No, and I think that's intentional. I think they want you to feel mixed about her.
Yeah, because I'm just like, one, like, why is Samuel so, I mean, obviously he equates her with Mary, but it's like he's very overly protected. Because there's other women in this hunter group that are not being, it's not as, I don't think it's a sexist thing, right? I think
it's a Gwen specific thing.
It's a very Gwen specific thing. And so she wants to fight, and I like that about her. But then also, I just don't know where her loyalties are. I just don't know how I trust her. Right.
Well, and then she makes a comment, and Dean, she kind of apologizes to Dean after everybody leaves for implying
because she's not a bitch, and that's what's confusing. She's not a bitch.
Yeah, but he's like, well, you know, he's like, they figured out, they make the illusion that Samuel thinks of her like Mary, and Dean basically says it's a compliment. Like when he says, like, yeah, you speak your mind like her. So, you know, and she's like, well, yeah, it's a positive. So maybe there are other characteristics about her that carry over. So then they hear a noise in the bushes. And of course, a vampire attacks them. And there's good hissing going on. She gets attacked. Dean jumps in and she cuts his head off, and there's blood everywhere.
Yeah, Dean kind of gets his, like, he's not on his A game. He kind of gets his, he's not looking very good. And so he gets his ass kicked by his vamp, and she saves his ass, right? Mm-hmm. And then you hear somebody's, and then
gunshots.
Yeah, then you hear gunshots, right? And so Dean goes running towards the gunshots like an asshole. And leaves her alone, which is honestly like, that is more the shitty thing, is like, okay, Dean, you had shit to do, but you just also left her by herself. Like that's
right. You should
like
go as a team still or not.
Like you can't just leave her there. That's rude.
It is.
So stop leaving your friends behind, dickheads. All right.
So they go and he gets to the house and there are bodies strewn about on the grounds with missing their heads. Let the bodies
hit the floor.
And then he sees like the wind vane, and he has his little vampy flashback, including the creepy twins. And you see a couple more decapitated bodies. And then we see one of the chicks from the compound at the window yell out to him and then get yanked back. And then there's blood splatter.
So who was the chick at the window? Was that a hunter or was it a vampire? Because it looks like she said Dean, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I thought she said Dean.
So was it, because I was like, well, I can't tell if this is someone who was with him or a vampire who remembered him because he just remembered his vamp daddy. And do all vamps remember each other?
I don't know. I assumed it was a hunter.
Okay. Whatever, it's confused, and I'm confused. And so he goes back to Gwen, finally. He was like, oh yeah, I should check on this girl that I just left by herself.
Well, first, before he goes back, he's sneaking around. He hears Samuel's
voice.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And he sees Samuel with other hunters and Sam carrying a jar of blood, leading a handcuffed alpha vamp with a hood over his head into the back of the van.
What's up with the jar of blood?
I don't know.
Is it like you just follow this blood? Follow, like, it just like, what?
Like leading the cat to the litter box?
Like me with like the treats trying to be like, go to the litter box, but I can't put the blood in the van or he won't get in.
Or are they chasing him with it because it's the dead man's blood?
I don't know.
It's weird. So Sam kind of thinks he saw Dean, but he's not sure. So Dean does go back to Gwen, and when he gets there, she asks where he was. Right then, though, Samuel and the others all return, and they ask how everything was, and Gwen does not rat out Dean for having left.
She
just is like,
again.
Oh, yeah, there's one. Gwen's being kind of cool, Gwen. Okay. So Dean's like, hey, yeah, by the way, where's that alpha? I want to go pay my last respects. And Samuel lies to him and says, you better bring your marshmallows. It's already on the pyre.
Also, nobody wants s'mores over a burning vampire.
No.
But
I love s'mores, but
you're a liar, no vamps on fire. So Dean's just like, and doesn't call him on it. He just lets it ride. And then him and Carla Sam.
Yeah.
And then we do another Sam test.
He keeps asking questions. How things went. Nothing weird.
And you can see like the Sam math going on. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like the AI compute is going to like, was like, do I lie or do I not say it? Like, what am I supposed to say? Samuel is family. I must protect family, but Dean is family. And his little brain is just like, what?
Brain melting. Yeah. So, Dean pulls over, screeches to a halt, gets out of the car, confronts Sam. And he's like, look, I saw you load up the alpha, and that seems weird. And Sam's like, oh, you weren't supposed to know about that.
I was just like, j'accuse! I appreciate how many times I've gotten to write j'accuse this season. But he does. He accuses Sam.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's just something Samuel's been doing. Takes him somewhere and grills him for info. Like, monster waterboarding?
Yeah, but so, like, Sam's kind of just like, wait, like, is it weird? I didn't know that was weird. I just thought that was normal. Oh.
Yeah. It was my idea not to tell you because I thought you'd mess up because you're more like shoot first, ask questions later. But we've got questions we need to ask.
Dean's like, dude. Or as Diana would say, bruh.
I thought you wanted your soul back, brah.
This is shady. This is so shady.
Super shady. And Sam, but this is where we get what you were alluding to about the Sam not being able to compute. He's like, yeah, but he's our grandfather. And Dean's response is, you can't assume family means the same thing to him as it does to us. He's not dad.
It's also an important life lesson. You know, what your what family means to you does not necessarily mean what family means to other people. And it's like a very good perspective to have, you know, like we can't all be in our Fast and the Furious family all the time. Like sometimes there are people that are outside of our family. And then we have to take their gas lane or something. I don't know, but
Oh, you were really working for the Fast and the Furious reference there. I like it. I like it. I like it. So Dean's like, Sam, you just have no instincts anymore. That's kind of messed up. And so, you know, we've got to figure this out. So Dean says, I'm going to be in charge now. And Sam's like, you have to tell me. He's like, Sam, you have to tell me everything because you can't tell what's important, or you get to go with Samuel. It's up to you.
Oh, he's just like, I am driving this bus. And I'm also just like, can you be my life coach? I mean, I don't necessarily want Dean Winchester as my life coach because I don't think he makes good decisions. But sometimes...
No, I mean, like, because I think in your life, I think like the things that, you know, that you need advice on don't have much to do with identity theft, gambling, and killing monsters.
I was like, I've dealt with at least one of those this week.
Well,
I'm just like, what? And like, yeah, I did identity theft, do that, yeah, like, but no, but just in general, like the idea of like somebody, like sometimes I'm very tired, and maybe this is why people join cults because there's like someone driving the bus, and it's like, yes. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. Tell me what's right from wrong, and just drive my bus, Dean. Oh, now it's all getting dirty again. How does it always go back to...
Drive my bus.
Oh, anyways. All right. So, but basically...
Does he know where all the buttons are? Anyways.
We're going to get a choice. I do love the way they played this, right? They're like...
For sure. You get a choice. You follow Dean's lead, or you can go back to Samuel. Pick one. And so Sam, we show Sam packing up his bag and goes in to tell Samuel, or Samuel's packing a bag, and Sam enters and says, hey, Dean left. You know, we're just not seeing eye to eye anymore.
Yep.
And tells him that, look, I want in on everything. I want to be in on interrogations or everything. And I'm like, oh, I thought you went too hard, boy. He's going to totally get sus. He's not going to let you in if you say that off the bat.
Yeah, your social engineering skills aren't the best, Sam. That's also part of the problem, like, you know, with
instinct.
With the AI, like not having a soul thing, right, is like learning nuance. Nuance is important. And if you're going to fuck your way backstage, like you need to know like certain nuances of like, you know, who, like, which doorman is important, you know, and how to talk to them. And so Sam just like, but Samuel has like a very good counter. He's just like, no soul, no go. We can't trust you.
Gotta figure it out first. So Sam's kind of sad, and he goes outside, and he goes into the van where there's a stashed phone. Interesting. And he opens this flip phone and like clicks around on it. Then he walks away, and our next scene, we see him get in the car with Dean. What? And who does say it was a 60-40 chance that he thought Sam was actually coming back. So it was a setup. Sam was trying to get on the inside with Samuel and was unsuccessful. So his backup plan that he did not tell Dean, which was a smart one, was to go get the GPS coordinates of the warehouse where they're keeping the alphas from the cell phone. He pulls it up on his lappy top
and he keyboard cats it. Also, so his laptop in their moving baby it's 2010. He has Wi-Fi, fucking Wi-Fi in baby that can track this GPS. You are setting up my surveillance van, Mr. Sam Winchester, because this is baller.
No.
But also he's just like, oh, like Samuel doesn't understand Velcro. But in like the last episode, he was a like master hacker and like running surveillance, and like now like he can't be like he doesn't know what a GPS tracker is, and like and it also didn't look like he was just clicking in there. It looked like he put something physical on it, like an actual.
Like he was sending a text.
I don't know.
It looks like he was sending a text.
Why did they just put a tracker in the van?
I don't know. It's weird.
Anyways, all right. So much on surveillance. So we get a cut to Diana's favorite location.
Yes, an abandoned warehouse. Yay, industrial sites. Okay.
I was like, if someday they're going to pull up, there's going to be a rave happening here. I'm just saying.
Right? So we've got this warehouse. We got Samuel with Christian, and they're fully armed.
Parker Lewis is just, he can't lose. He's all fucking armed up.
And then we've got Sam and Dean pull up in Baby. And they find the door has been coated in dead man's blood as a vampire repellent, which they think is very clever.
I mean, like, it's a repellent, but, like, I think, like, if I was a vampire, I'd be like, dead man's blood. Oh, there's a hunter in here.
Or something really important in here.
Yeah, like, it was like, why is this random warehouse have blood? That's not something I find in, like, my storage locker normally. Like,
no.
Whatever.
So we've got somewhere in this building, we know that Samuel and Christian are in there fully armed. And now Sam and Dean go in, and they're just going to wander around willy-nilly in a building they don't know. And they almost get caught. Christian almost
Well, it is the same warehouse they've been in like 75 times. So by now they know the layout.
That's fair. Fair enough. And, but then they realize that they hear Samuel yelling, "Where is it?" And they've got the alpha vamp who we saw a couple episodes ago, the alpha, and he is in like a jail cell strapped into this like real weird electric chair looking thing with tubes in him.
What?
WTF.
Yeah, so I feel like they've tried to cross like a general torture thing with like a CIA black site. They can just, but with, I don't know what this is, and I don't. Okay, but
there's like nails in his feet, a tube going into his neck, and like a weird chest piece. It's all bizarre.
But also,
and his hands are strapped down.
I'm not gonna lie, I love my alpha vamp daddy. Like, he's so sarcastic, and I love him because as you're trying this, he's just, stop, it hurts.
Yeah,
I love him.
And they throw it. Yeah,
will you be my daddy?
Big...
I don't. Can we get rid of the fucking creepy twins and like
your blood sucking daddy,
my blood sucking vamp daddy?
And Samuel's throwing this big switch, and it's like acting kind of like it's electrocuting him, but he doesn't seem to care. It's all weird. Anyways, and then Samuel's getting like real frustrated with this, and just cannot rattle the alpha. And the alpha laughs, and then his fingernails grow real long.
On command. How convenient is that shit? Like, every time, like, you break a nail, like, that shit just grows out on its own. Then you just go, take it, get it paid up, bam, bam, boom. Like, I don't have to spend any money on, like, powder dip or any shit ever again.
Yeah, it's weird.
Make me a vampire. I don't want the teeth, though. Can I get the nails?
Not. Can I get the regular teeth, like the other?
Yeah, can I get the
teeth?
fangs?
Like the two, like the, not the.
Yeah, not the shark teeth. Nobody wants the shark teeth.
Creepy. So, Samuel storms off because he's fucking like annoyed and he's not having any luck. So, but he lost, man. And good old Alpha is using that long fingernail to start slowly scratching at the leather wristbands, which I guess makes sense because it doesn't electrocute, but it's also a real weird choice when you've got like this giant metal, like super heavy duty chair.
Where's your silver chains? He's a fucking vampire. Put him in silver chains. Like, and I think silver works on them in this universe. I'm pretty sure. We'll get to that in a minute. But all right, so okay, whatever, leather chains, but he also smells our boys, and he knows they're there. Boys, come on out. I want to see you. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, and he wants to know how he can help them. And Dean's like, I got questions. And he's like, I'm getting pumped through it with a lot of dead man's blood right now. So, but, I can't put on my bat signal, but I'm still going to be out of there. His psychic bat, but I can still, I'm not going to be here very long. So, what you got?
The vamp is very happy to tell them that he's going to eat them, but Sam is really happy that he's the first alpha vamp, right? Because even with no soul, Sam still loves lore, just as me. I don't have a soul, I still have lore, and yes, we find out the alpha vamp daddy has a mommy too. But I think Sam just wants to know more about vampires, so. I think we all need to know more about vampires, but I think we knew a lot already.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask Diana more about what she knows about vampires. Yeah, so basically I wanted to do this for Lore this week. I'm just torturing Diana because it's fun. I love it. Yay! Torture Diana week. She's like, I haven't had enough. Like a South by week, bitch. Like, but it's a fun torture. You'll like it. You'll ask for more. So we're gonna talk about vampires in pop culture because the last time we had the surprise guest that's coming on later, we did hellhounds in pop culture.
We did.
So I feel like sometimes we'll circle back to this. So we're gonna do vampires in pop culture, but also I know your universes, bitch. I know which vampires, so...
I know.
So hold on to your fangs. All right, your first question. This vampire was an inhabitant of the planet Draculon, a world where a vampiric race lived on blood and where blood flowed in rivers. Was that A, Selene, B, Lissa Dragomir, C, Vampirella, or D, Carmilla? Ooh, have I gone to some obscure vampire worlds? I have, but they're not that obscure. You know them. Some of these you'll actually figure out. All right, so A, Selena, B, Lissa Dragomir, C, Vampirella, or D, Carmilla. Which one came from the planet Draculon?
I'm going to go with C because I don't know.
And you're right. It is Vampirella. She is from Draculon. Hooray! Yeah. All right. Number 2, her name comes from the ancient Greek means shining or luminous. And she is named for the ancient Greek goddess of the moon. Is it A, Selene, B, Lissa Dragomir, C, Vampirella, or D, Carmilla? So Selene, Lissa Dragomir, Vampire. It is Selene, and that is Selene from Underworld. Okay, so she has been in a lot of vampire movies. It's Kate Beckinsale, bitch, and like usually. So, all right, number 3. This influence for Bram Stoker's Dracula was portrayed by Ingrid Pitt in the movies. It is said to have established the cold and dark atmosphere by which vampires operate, at least according to Wikipedia, so whatever. It also introduced a vampire with lesbian tendencies. Woo! She liked the women. Oh, scary. What was her name? Was it A, Selene, B, Lissa Dragomir, C, Vampirella, or D, Carmilla?
Carmilla.
It was in fact D, Carmilla. Oh, you're doing so good, so good. That was written by Sheridan Le Fanu. How do you say that? Whatever. It was published in 1871, and one of the things that Stoker pulled on for Dracula. All right. So number 4. Who does Lissa Dragomir have a psychic bond with? You get no multiple choice. And I will take, I don't know, I will take what she has a bond with or who. So who does Lissa Dragomir have a psychic bond with? And the reason she's making a face is this is one of Diana's vampire.
I know it.
Yep, and I think you just watched Vampire Academy, which I thought was rather pleasant.
I enjoyed it. It's her it's her guardian, and it's
all right, her guardian is a what or a who?
She's a Dampier.
Yeah, she's a Dampier. And her name, can you get it? Kissed by sorry, I was doing a seal.
Oh,
baby! Yes.
Rose. Damn it.
I'm sure my mother downstairs is like, what the fuck is happening up here?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yelling seal songs. It's okay.
If I'm going to yell things, might as well be seal songs, right? Okay, so we're going to move away from those ladies, okay?
Okay.
This vampire or vampire is known as the Bird of Death, who feasts upon the blood of living humans. He is believed to have been created by Belial, Belial, the lieutenant demon of Satan. Satan. Is it A, Count Orlok, B, Count von Count, C, Count Chocula, or D, Count Dracula?
I'm going to go with D, Count Dracula.
It is actually A, Count Orlok, aka Nosferatu. So that is the main antagonist and title character portrayed by the German actor Max Schreck in the silent film Nosferatu, 1922. Nosferatu, eine Symphonie des Grauens. Sorry, 4 years of German failed me. All right, number 6. This count studied the black arts at the academies of Scholomance in the Carpathian Mountains, overlooking the town of Sibiu, and has a deep knowledge of alchemy and magic. Is it A, Count Orlok, B, Count von Count, C, Count Chocula, or D, Count Dracula?
D, Count Dracula.
It is! Okay, and this is also according to Wikipedia, so the Scholomance, like it looks like Scholomance, Scholomance, if you're in our vampire spelling bee, was a fabled school of black magic in Romania, in Transylvania, supposedly run by the devil, and had about 10 students that would become the Solomonari, and they taught courses in the speech of animals and magic spells, and one of the graduates was chosen by the devil to be the weather maker, and he gets to ride a dragon and control the weather.
Huh.
I feel like none of my schools like lived up to this at all. Y'all, like, what the fuck? Like, also, I need this universe like now. Someone like make this shit.
Write this book, please.
There's like some things that like have been kind of off in that world, but like it's just been like a little bit. Like it's just like kind of like I think one of those the bone ones. I don't know. There's some things that go through there, but it never actually like digs into it. So
right.
All right, Netflix, pick it up and pay me what you owe me. All right, number 7. This count's real name was Alfred. Was that Count Orlok, Count von Count, Count Chocula, or Count Dracula?
Count Dracula.
It's Chocula!
Chocula?
Yes. So Count Chocula, he was actually named Alfred. Frankenberry was named Frank. Duh. Well. But so he was actually like Count Chocula's voice was actually Bela Lugosi in a lot of the original commercials, and they spent like 2 years like writing the script for like Count Chocula and Frankenberry because they didn't want it to scare kids, right? And so they're like, we need to do this, but they had like they're like, okay, instead of saying I want to suck your blood, they had Bela Lugosi say I want to eat your cereal, and that was really like it was so like he was high as shit because he was like all like super like morphine addict at this point. So just imagine like this super high Bela Lugosi doing the voiceover for cereal for Count Chocula. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Please, someone have video of that and share it with me. All right, and so number 8, your final question. This count has bats named Beauregard, Liuba, Yasha, Bruce, Cynthia, Grisha, Matilda, Misha, Sandor, Winnie Mae, Louisville, Slugger, Luba, Sasha, Tatiana, Louis, and Persephone. Is that Count Orlok, Count von Count, Count Chocula, or Count Dracula?
Count von Count.
It is Count von Count from Sesame Street. He also has a cat named Fatsi Tata. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but a wolf named Yuba and an octopus named Octavia.
I like the Count.
I love the Count. I love all of those counts. I'm like, what? I love Count Orlok. I love Count von Count. I love Count Chocula. I love Count Chocula. I love all things.
Yeah.
So,
yay! I did.
I
only kind of failed.
So I only sort of tortured you, like our daddy vamp. But I hope it was an enjoy. I hope you liked it and want to come back for more one day.
I'm sure I will.
Because oh my god, we are still in season 6, and this may not be the last vampire. So
what? No.
All right, so we're going to get back to some of the things we're learning from our interrogation from Vamp Daddy.
Yeah, and Vamp Daddy Alpha is telling them, he's like, yeah, because Dean's going to try to flip the switch on him after the Alpha's like, you were my child, so of course I fucking know you. So Dean's like, fuck that shit, because the Alpha asks if he enjoyed being a vampire. And then Alpha's like, yeah, you can't scare me and you can't hurt me. When man first huddled around a fire, I was the thing in the dark, which is kind of like chilling.
To think so. Well, are you thinking especially like creation stories? Because this is what we're building here. We're building a creation story. So this is vampire. Not specifically vampires. It was specifically Vamp Daddy.
Him. He was there at the beginning of humankind,
and watching like some guy like hit a woman Caveman. With a stick. You know.
Yeah. Cavemen dragging, shit around. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, but like you alluded, like even he has a mother, but he laughs and he won't really he won't expound upon that.
He won't tell us who his mommy is. No.
But he's like, Dean's like, so, but they do kind of get him to start answering questions. They have kind of an exchange where like, hey, we'll answer and ask questions to each other. And Dean's like, what's up with the vampire surge? Alpha's like, obviously we're going to war. Duh. Which
is like, I do also the like, wait, this isn't just me, right? Like you're saying there are a lot more vamps. Like you can confirm. Thank you. I was just kind of like, I'm not making this shit up. And he's like, oh no, there are.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, why did Samuel bring you here? And he's like, but then he turns to Sam. Alpha turns his attention to Sam. He's like, you have no soul. And asks what it's like to have no soul. And Sam doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, he's super into this. He's just like, I'm not interested in Eugene anymore. Now I want to investigate this thing, which you have to imagine. Sam. If you've been around for thousands of years, this is probably the first new thing you've encountered in a very long time.
That's fascinating then. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, no. He's like, look, a soul is predictable. When you die, you go up or down, and that's it. What happens to your kind? Where do we go? Are freaks like us and monsters? And Dean's smartass answer is Legoland, because of course. So Alpha milks them a little bit for their lack of, literature knowledge, but and he's still using his long fingernail to slowly like scratch on this leather wristband, by the way,
right? And
it's really uncomfortable to watch.
It is.
But now we.
But so
now we know
alludes
it's purgatory.
So the literature that he's referring to is Dante, and so this is referring to like within Inferno, like where things are going, etc. And we had brought up on our last, I think we need to answer a question that was brought up in a previous episode, which was Dante hot? And after having I looked it up and I looked at Bus, and I would be sad to say, pass.
Sorry. Disappointing.
I don't know. He honestly, you wrote about all these levels of hell. Yeah, I would still probably fuck Dante. I mean, you don't have to be, we can work past the nose. We can work past the nose. Anyways, okay. So, but purgatory is real, you stupid cattle. And I do also like that he refers to them as cattle. Like you just remind him, like you're just food to me. It's all you've been for thousands of years.
That's it. Yeah. So basically what they're trying to, what we learn here that's critical is that Alpha tells them that Samuel is trying to beat the location out of purgatory out of the Alpha. Samuel is trying to get the Alpha to tell him where purgatory is. That's what he wants to know. That's what he's being tortured for.
But it's not Samuel that wants to know that. But
he's just doing as he's told. So who the fuck is controlling Samuel is the question.
Well, no, they make
or as Dean puts it, it's way better.
It's way, way, way better. We get another Muppet reference.
We do. If the old man is Kermit, whose hand is up his ass? And surprise, Samuel, Christian, and Tyler appear with shotguns.
Fine, they're there. Yeah, and what was also like, there's some rando with them too, right?
That's that Tyler dude.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I just have him as a rando.
Rando.
And they have a tiff.
So, yeah, they have a tiff, and we our brothers get disarmed, and Dean's lecturing Samuel on how stupid he is for putting Jaws in a fishbowl, which is valid. And that whatever, you're hiding, it's, you're going to put everyone around you in the ground. And this is when Samuel stops, and he's mad about that because the fact that what he's doing could put people around him at risk does upset him. And so Dean struck a nerve. And then Gwen's there with the shotgun, and everybody stops what they're fucking doing.
So again, I don't get it. I don't know. Where do we stand? I don't know. Do we? Because that's a bitch thing she just did. Like, what the fuck, Gwen? Like, I thought you were cool. I thought you were cool, Gwen.
I don't know what you're doing, Gwen. So we see that rando Tyler's wandered off to go check out the Alpha and wants to flip the switch.
He also looks like he's about to pee himself a lot. Because he's like, yeah, like, and the Alpha's like taunting him. He's like, I'm not scared.
Like, are you afraid of me? I would be. And he flips the switch, and which jolts Alpha enough to rip the rest of his restraints off, tear out of his cage, and it's gonna be bad.
Then he eats him. He eats Tyler. Bye, Tyler.
Yep. So they all go. So because they hear these yells, Samuel tells the brothers they're allowed to grab their weapons again that they just got stripped of, and they go into the cage area. Tyler's dead, and Alpha's gone. And the big fancy blood pump with the dead man's blood is broken, which means that they've got an hour or less until the Alpha's back at full strength. Womp womp. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right?
Sure, whatever. I don't like any of this, but so Dean's just like, all right, guys, we're not catching anybody. Like, we're fucking killing him. This is stupid. Whatever the fuck concentration camp, like torture shit, Guantanamo, whatever, stops now. Mm-hmm. We're just fucking taking him out.
And what if we survive it? We're having a fucking family meeting.
It's time for us to talk.
And Christian is just wildly unimpressed with this whole thing. But anyways, so we got Samuel, Sam, and Christian together. And Christian's pontificating of like if the Alpha could have gotten out. But no, he's there. And he rips his head off.
Oh, no.
Christian's gone.
No, he doesn't rip his head off. He gets his neck snapped. If the head was ripped off, that would make things difficult. So he gets his neck snapped.
Yeah, you're right. And it's his next snap. And Samuel shoots, and the Alpha is talking to Sam, though. He's like, the boy with no soul, I've got plans for you. You'd be a perfect animal. And then right when he's about to bite Sam, because he's going to turn Sam, a possessed Christian, sorry, you're correct. So because Christian's now a fucking demon, doses the Alpha with the dead man's blood.
Wait, and what the fuck just happened?
And there's 3 demons there. What? And they all disappear.
Where are these demons from?
3 demons show up. Christian's a demon. 2 other demons appear. They dose the Alpha, and all of them disappear.
Okay.
WTF.
So here's the thing. All right. Would Christian not have a anti-possession tattoo?
And who requires them?
I mean, what do you mean who requires them? I mean, like, oh fuck, like you can put something on me that keeps me from getting possessed? Tattoo that shit right here. Like, you do that.
He is a hunter, so you'd think he would.
So, or does that become invalid when you die? I don't know. But, so he did.
He did.
He's a demon.
Possessed. He was a demon now. And we get a slow clap. And they all, Sam, Dean, Gwen, and Samuel are all pretty confused at this point.
And here's my daddy.
Crowley. What? And Samuel is very upset about Christian.
Yeah. Also, according to an interview with Guy Normanby, the director, Mark Shepard requested that he was not in the opening credits, so Crowley's appearance would be a surprise, which I think is awesome. Smart. I love you, Mr. Shepard.
Yeah. So Samuel's very upset, wants Christian back right away because, it's his actual family. And Crowley's like, nah, sorry, he's been possessed for like a long time.
What?
I keep an eye on my investments. What? Yeah.
And then Sam says, like, when it dawns on him, I just love it. Like, I kind of love, like, I'm not going to lie, at this point, I just start falling in love with Soulless Sam. Because he just stops pretending that he doesn't have a soul, and he just starts, like, he starts being real, right? And he's just like, oh shit, you're Crowley's bitch! And just, like, the things, like, I would say out loud, just like, oh!
Yeah. And they're like, but Sam and Dean are like, what the fuck is your angle, Crowley? Like, what the fuck? And Crowley is his typical cheeky self and doesn't give them an answer really, other than to start saying that, I know you're looking for purgatory, location, vast, underdeveloped, and hell adjacent.
So he's going to be an Eve. What? Like corporate developers are from hell? What? No, never. But also, guess what, Sam and Dean? You've been my employees for a while, thanks to your grandpa. Also,
not happy.
I got something of yours. Oh, what's that? What I got?
Oh, he's got Sam's soul.
Oh, what? You don't have the power for that.
Yeah.
You're just
I'm not a punk ass.
Go ahead. You like both of us want to say the line. It's just like I'm not a punk ass Crossroads demon.
Punk ass Crossroads.
No, that's not a punk ass. Like,
I'm the king of hell.
What? I am the king of motherfucking hell. And we almost had a bunch of lore on Kings of Hell this week, but goddamn, there's a lot of lore and a lot of shit going on. So someday we'll talk about Kings of Hell, but he's a goddamn king of hell. Ooh. So now Daddy got more money than he's not just a Crossroads demon. He's a king. Ooh.
He's got the mojo. He's can snap his fingers and could shove Sam back in the hole.
So he's like, I'm Charlie, you angels, get it? And there's a very cute photograph of the director of Guy B, or Guy Norman B, of him. Like he's got a Ghostbuster shirt on, and him and like Jared and Jensen are like flanking him, and they're doing the Charlie's Angels pose.
Nice. It's like, yeah, me, Charlie, you angels, bring me creatures. Higher on the food chain, better. And then he leaves. He just fucking leaves. Poof. So Samuel's like, all right, I guess we're gonna go get in the van. But Gwen is pissed. She's like, a demon's calling the shots. This is bullshit. And
but get the van, Gwen. Just get the van. And Gwen. I don't get that. I don't know.
And Sam's on the same train as Gwen. She's like, what the? He's like, WTF, working for a demon. And so Dean wants to know, though, what was so important that you're the king of hell's cabana boy? Girls, money, hair.
Hair.
It's fine. Yeah. But Samuel won't say. He's like, I've got my reasons. And just, you need to make a move. We're family, but we need to pull a bullet in me or step aside if you're not going to help, is basically what Samuel tells Dean.
And then Sam just pulls out his gun.
Yeah, Sam's going to do it. Sam's like, okay.
And it just loves, like, the no thought, just like, yeah, I'll fucking shoot you. And this is what I kind of love Soulless Sam. Because he
sold us out. He sold us out.
Fuck this dude. Like, and just that simplicity between what's right and what's wrong. And it's just like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah. I'll kill you.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, and then, but Dean's like, no. Let him go. We need to play ball with Crowley until we figure things out, and then we can go after Crowley. But let Samuel go.
Get the van, Gwen. So Samuel goes.
Yeah.
And I have this quote, and I'm not sure if it goes with the before or the after. So I'm just going to put this quote that says, demons bone you every time, and Diana can tell me where it goes.
Oh, I don't remember exactly.
Oh, you did not write that line down. God damn it. It's such a good line.
Sorry.
Demons bone you every time. Like, I feel like that should be a bumper sticker, and you can take it either way, right? Because it's double entendre, because you kind of want demons to bone you.
Do you?
Oh, wait, that's just me. Okay. Anyway, so Sam and Dean are talking.
And they decide they got to go along with the plan. They got to fucking work for Crowley to get Sam's soul back
and get boned until they find another way, and then we can track Crowley down and give that son of a bitch what's coming to him. Dagnabbit, you with me, Dean?
Some bitch,
you son of a bitch. But the way he ends it, right? It's just like, you with me? He's so earnest.
Go team.
I kind of love him.
Go team.
Do we have casting couch this week?
No.
Okay. Then I think we can just go, because that's how it ends. That's how it ends.
Yeah. I mean, we got some good development. We got some good info on these characters. And, yeah. There we go.
So,
we gotta find out what's happening next.
Okay.
What the fuck is Samuel really up to? Why is he doing this? Number one has not been answered. I don't know if we're going to get that answer. But more importantly, we know that Crowley has been sneaking around behind and has Sam's soul. And so knew all this was going on all along.
Yeah. So I think you got a lot of reveals this episode, being the first time watching through. So I guess some things, okay. So I guess you thought that you knew Samuel was bad. Right, that's not.
Yeah,
clear.
I didn't trust Samuel for sure. Did not trust Samuel.
All right, so I think it's also. Actually, we can start from the beginning, because Sam doesn't have a soul. Is that what you thought was wrong with Sam?
I will say I tried to ignore it, but I'd heard allusions to there being a soulless section of the series with Sam. And since there was something off about him, I'd kind of wondered if that's what this was.
So you kind of had suspicions, but you're just like, okay, that could be okay. So that was a variety
of things still. So that was a big reveal. And then we had also seen a hint that the Campbells were catching alphas, because we saw that with the Jinn. And so I was like, oh shit, they're trapping the big dogs, and I figured they're doing some crazy experiments on them or something. I didn't think they were doing
Yeah, it does feel like very, it still feels very experimenty, right? Like if you take something and you're like putting it in a van, I'm feeling very like the Addams season of Buffy, where they were capturing the hostiles and like putting them in the ground and testing on them, right? So I feel kind of that. But okay, so we got that. We had Grandpa, and then Grandpa working for my daddy Crowley. Like, did you see that?
Still made me mad at Crowley. I mean, I know Crowley's a demon, but still made me mad at him.
Why are you mad at him? What's he doing? He's just doing his job. He's just being Crowley.
But he could have but he's had issues with the brothers before, and he was supposed to leave them alone.
I mean, they haven't really like run into each other.
Not since they almost burned his bones.
Right. So, I mean, that was the last time they saw them. So, I mean, like, it wasn't like he was withholding things. He just hadn't seen them. I don't blame Crowley at all. And Samuel, though, he's a shitbag. But he is working for something. We don't know what he's working for, but it must be something very important.
He wants something. He wants something bad enough that it had something to do with him coming out of heaven for it, supposedly.
So, that's also interesting. Another fact that he was in heaven. So that also happened.
Well, we knew that. Well, they had said that before, that they had pulled him from above and Sam from below, but maybe he wasn't.
I don't know. Everything is weird. I don't know. It's upside down. It's backwards man land. Ugh.
I don't know, but I'm glad that we've got someone with some instinct leading the way now, because that was concerning.
Wait, who's the someone with instinct?
Dean compared to Sam?
I was like, what? I was like, who's leading? But like, what are they leading? Like, are they like, because Sam's just been kind of going along with shit. He hasn't been leading anything. He's just been following Samuel.
No, that's true. Yeah. But so now he's just going to keep following, but he's going to follow Dean instead.
But now Dean is Crowley's bitch. Is really what this comes down to, and knowingly, right? Before, like, you know, they may have captured some things like inadvertently, but now he is directly Crowley's bitch.
Valid, yeah.
So, but so do you think this episode was a bummer?
I didn't think it was a bummer. I thought it was interesting because I think you were I like Alpha Vamp too.
I do.
And he's such a good actor, and it's just a good character. I really like it. So I think that was cool. And then I think finally getting the reveal of figuring out what the fuck's going on with Sam and getting the Samuel, like we still don't know all of it, but we know kind of what's going on was a really big relief.
Like, I still don't understand why. I mean, I guess, like, why Samuel?
No, we don't know any of that. We don't know why Samuel. We don't know why Samuel's motivated. We just know, but we know
why
what's behind him.
If it was Crowley who, like,
pulled him.
Why Samuel? Like, why was this the hunter that you picked? Was it because he was related? Like, so he decided, like, because we know, like, so far we know, but he's going after these things, right? And we know he's the king of hell, and he has pulled Sam and Samuel. Was it just for alliteration? Like, what, like, symmetry? Like, why those two? Why not, like, other hunters who may have been, like, better hunters in the world? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a weird choice. I think Crowley has a boner for the Winchesters. I'm just putting that out there. Okay. So Crowley has a boner for the Winchesters is where Liz stands in this episode, but not a bummer.
No.
But it's not a happy one, but it's not a bummer.
Not a bummer. Not a bummer.
All right. So on Not a Bummer, we'll end this. Cheers, Dirk.
Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios podcast network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.